Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Now we all know with the holiday season approaching, in any Guyanese or Caribbean household, black cake is a must. Now for a lot of people out there, they actually cannot consume alcohol either for personal reasons, health reasons, or even religious reasons. So I wanted to go ahead and put a recipe out on my channel for a non-alcoholic fruitcake. Now before I get all the traditionalists out there telling me that you cannot make fruitcake or black cake without alcohol, you guys are absolutely wrong, because anything is possible, especially when you have some imagination and you have delicious tasting ingredients. So if you all want to see how I make my non-alcoholic black cake today, please keep on watching. So the first thing that we need to do to make our non-alcoholic black cake is to soak all of our fruits. So in a little pot here, I'm going to be going in with my raisins. I have some golden raisins. If you wanted to use all regular raisins, feel free to do so. I'm also going to be going in with my currants, my prunes, my maraschino cherries. And as usual, the full list of ingredients and measurements will be listed in my description box right below the video. All you have to do is click on the drop down menu, scroll a little bit, and you will see everything right there. And the last thing I'm going in with is some candied mixed peel. So at this point, we need to soak the fruits in some type of juice or non-alcoholic item. So I'm using some cherry juice today, and the reason why I'm using it is because this is more of an unsweetened cherry juice, so will not add too much sugar to my cake. If you wanted to use cranberry juice, you can use cranberry concentrate. You can use other types of juices like pomegranate juice. Some people use apple cider. Some people even soak it in grape juice or Malta. So there are so many different items you can soak this in. They even sell non-alcoholic wine. So feel free to use whatever you have on hand as long as it does not have the alcohol content in it. So I'm just going to stir everything around. I'm going to cover this pot and I'm going to put it in my fridge and I'm going to let it soak for about 1 to 2 days. You do not need to let this soak for a long time because remember, it does not have the alcohol, so it's not going to preserve the fruits very well. So that is why you also have to refrigerate it or else it can spoil. So it's been 2 days since I had my fruits soaking in the fridge. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and start to blend them up. Now when I blend my fruits, I like to blend them to more of a smooth texture. I don't like a very chunky black cake. But if you want it to be chunky, feel free to only pulse it to leave it in a chunkier texture. All you really need to do is put all of the fruits in your blender or fruit processor or whatever you're using, and then you go ahead and blend it as per the consistency that you would like. And once you get the consistency that you want, all you're going to do is set these fruits aside so we can begin working on the rest of the cake batter. And while we start mixing the batter for our non-alcoholic black cake, I'm going to heat my oven to 350 degrees, so this way it is nice and hot and ready for me when I go to make my cake later. So I have a very big tip for you all. Whenever you're making black cake or baking anything, try to go ahead and measure out all of your ingredients and leave them off to the side. The reason why I like to do that is because this way when you are baking, it will make for easier mixing of the batter. You don't have to keep running back and forth to measure things out. So over here, I am measuring out some almond extract as well as some vanilla extract for my black cake. And at this point, I'm just going to start measuring out some of the ingredients that I'm going to be using in the dry ingredients for my black cake. The first thing I'm going to put in here is my baking powder, as well as some salt to bring out the sweetness, and a little bit of black pepper. I know it sounds weird, but that little addition of black pepper in the black cake really adds a nice flavor. I'm also going in with some ground cloves. I'm going in with some cinnamon, as well as some finely grated nutmeg. Now once everything is measured out, it is time to start mixing the dried ingredients together. So in a bowl, I'm going to be going in with some all-purpose flour, and as usual, the full list of ingredients and measurements are in my description box down below, so make sure you check that out. I'm also going to be going in with my baking powder, some salt just to bring out the sweet flavors of the cake, and now it's time for the spices. I'm going to be going in with a little bit of ground cinnamon, some ground cloves, or you can use allspice if you wish, my black pepper, which is optional, as well as some freshly ground nutmeg for that sweet nutmeg flavor. And all you're going to do now is just give all of those dried ingredients a mix until everything is well combined. At this point, we're going to start working on all of the wet ingredients. So in my stand mixer, or you can do this by hand with a wooden spoon, I'm going to be going in with my unsalted butter that I have softened to room temperature. By doing this, it allows for very easy mixing. And I'm going to be going in with my brown Demerara sugar. I prefer to use brown sugar over white sugar because I find that the cake has a richer taste and a richer flavor. But by all means, if all you had on hand was white sugar, you can also make use of that as well. What I'm doing now is I'm just going to cream the butter and sugar for about 4 to 5 minutes or until it is light, fluffy, and pale. And once your butter and sugar are light and fluffy and the sugar has dissolved for the most part, you want to go ahead and just scrape down the sides very well so this way everything is mixed. And then we can start to stream in our eggs. So with this black cake recipe, I'm using 6 eggs. All I did was I beat them together in a bowl, or you can use a measuring cup or whatever you have on hand. And then you're going to stream it in just a little bit at a time so it mixes in evenly.
And once all of your eggs are mixed into the butter and sugar, it is time to go in with that vanilla extract or vanilla essence or mixed essence depending on what you have on hand. And I'm also going to be going in with some almond extract. Now once all of those wet ingredients are mixed together, it is time to go in with the soaked ground fruits that we had worked on earlier. You're going to add them all in and you're going to put your mixer on a medium speed and allow it to mix very well, maybe for about 2 to 3 minutes or until all of those fruits are well combined. Sometimes if you do not combine them well enough, you'll have fruits on one side of the cake and then another side of the cake won't be filled with fruits. So make sure you mix very well. And this is what you're looking for after you've mixed in all of those fruits. As you guys can see, it's already a nice dark and rich color. But the last thing that we have to do is add in our dry ingredients that we had worked on earlier. So I like to add them in 2 batches, just so this way it has a more even mixing. So I'm going to put in 1 batch or half of the mixture, and I'm going to mix this on a low speed until I do not see any more dry flour. And then I'm going to go in with the second addition of my dried ingredients and mix it until I see no dry flour. Remember, at this step, you do not want to overmix or else you'll end up with a very tough cake. So as you all can see, after mixing in all of my ingredients, my cake has a nice dark color. If you wanted to, you can add in some browning at this point. I'll leave a measurement in my description box down below. But being that my cake was so dark already, I really did not need to add it in. Once your batter is mixed very well, it is time to put this into the oven at 350 degrees and I'm going to let it bake for exactly 1 hour and 20 minutes. Now depending on the pan that you put it in or the thickness that you make it or even your oven temperature, it will come out different. I'm using a 9 by 13 inch pan today and all I did before putting the cake in was I buttered and floured it very well. But of course, if you wanted to, you could just put parchment paper at the bottom. And once a toothpick comes out clean when you check the cake, that's how you know that the cake is done baking. You're gonna let it cool in the pan and then you can soak it with whatever you want. You can use that same cherry juice, you can use apple cider, you can use grape juice, cranberry juice, any type of non-alcoholic item you could soak your cake with. My cake actually was so moist that I did not bother soaking it with anything. And after it had a chance to cool and everything like that, I'm going to show you guys exactly what it looks like on the inside. As you all can see, this cake was super moist. It was super dense, super rich with all of those fruits. And trust me, the taste was absolutely amazing. For a non-alcoholic black cake, I truly did not miss the alcohol in it, and it was still nice and moist, still had that rich flavor, and everything you want in a black cake.
If you lovely people enjoyed this video today, please don't forget to give it a nice big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed yet, and go ahead and drop those comments down below. Thank you once again to everyone who commented on my videos and requested this non-alcoholic black cake recipe. I always try to be as inclusive as possible on my channel, especially for people who want to enjoy the same traditional holiday foods, but they just need to have it revamped or redone a little bit. So that's why I share this recipe today. But I'll see you all again very soon in one of my next videos. Bye everyone.